Hey, we're back live here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive. I have a surprise for everybody today. With me is Alan Boal, and Alan is actually like one of the original founding members of this group. He's been like my mentor, my coach, my biggest supporter, and I really appreciate him. We've become really good friends over the last couple years, maybe longer. And I'm just so excited to finally share Alan in the group. And Alan, thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, Derek, it's an honor and a privilege to join you and to have become friends. And this is so wonderful to have the opportunity to share the good things that I've learned from you and how important you've been in my life. So I look forward to that tonight.
Great. So, Alan, so since nobody here really knows who you are, why don't you share a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you do?
Okay. Um, well, the standard bio is I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and then my dad moved us out to California where I grew up. I consider San Clemente, California, my home. It's also where I met my wife, Pam, and we have moved to Las Vegas. And so we're here in Vegas with some of the other people that are in your group, like Dr. Mary Mercer. And so we're in our desert experience. And so that's a little bit about the geography. Um, what I have done in my career is that for the last 4 decades, I've been the owner and CEO and founder of a company called Idea Transfer. And what Idea Transfer is a business education collaborative. We educate business leaders, and we also spend an enormous amount of our time helping people do one thing that they've always asked me to do, and that is help them become conversationally competent in telling their story. And when they are conversationally competent telling the story, they usually make more money or they go public. And then, to my surprise, as they got successful, they asked me to come along with them on the journey. So, like you with the health and wealth loss journey beyond the scale, I feel like I've been on a journey with my clients and my friends. And it's just an honor and privilege to still be of service to them.
Well, I can say that I remember when we first talked kind of one-on-one. uh, I didn't know what my story was. I didn't know how to tell my story. And now I feel like everybody loves my story when I tell it and they're excited and they really get it and they feel for me. So I'm so grateful for you for like helping me, tell my story and help me bring my story to life, which, was obviously always there. I never really saw it until I started working with you. So I really appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you working on the story. What most people don't know about storytelling is that it's a metaphor to Michelangelo when he was asked, how does he do such a great job of sculpturing to come up with a sculpture? And he said, I don't add anything. I just take things away and let the truth and the beauty of the marble, or in this case, you, come out and be revealed. So, um, and then for those of you who don't know this, you didn't hear this from me, but Derek is very dedicated to details and he is resilient and he just keeps showing up to work on it and he loves feedback. And when you have a friend or a client that is open to listening and to learning before they leap, you'll turn out the results like Derek.
Thank you. Yeah. That Something I probably learned a little bit from you is how to get, maybe Brent a little bit too, and just but taking feedback and learning that all feedback is love, as our Carl Wolf used to say, right? All
Yes.
feedback is love. I think he's the one that said that. So,
Yeah.
um, learning that through. working with you and some other people has been a big lesson in my life.
Well, just think about all the people in your life that didn't care anymore. They didn't return your phone calls. They weren't really interested in you. And so the people who really do care and who they do love you, what they are willing to do is to collaborate with you. And most people aren't curious enough about what's going on in their friends' lives, or they don't have the ability to take a big pause and listen. And when you welcome feedback, you get better feedback. So to me, it is a joy to work with you or anyone that is interested in wanting to listen and learn before they leap into the next thing that they're doing.
So when a new client, whether it's a personal level or like a business level, comes to you and they need help, I don't know, telling their story or, marketing or branding or whatever it is, what what do you tell them? What are their next steps? What suggestions do you have for them or for the people listening today?
Well, I think everybody has a story. And one of the things about a story is that there's four parts to a story. There's you as the speaker. You're 25% of the story, just the nature of who you are, where you grew up, where you went to school, whether you speak whatever language it is. The second part is you know your audience. And most people have a vague idea of their audience. But the more clearer you are about the nature of your audience, the value of knowing your audience is that, believe it or not, it's you don't have the answers. Your audience has the answers. Everyone that's listening to this podcast, if you would, tonight, has answers. And speakers usually don't ask them, well, what answers do you have? What would you like to learn more about? The second thing is the third thing is the technology, which is you have mastered. I learn from you every time we get together about how you connect people and how you work through all of those things. And then the most important thing to keep in mind is that events drive storytelling, the nature of the event. So if you're thinking about the calendar, for example, and you decide that you want to go to an Independence Day celebration to see the fireworks, you'd expect the speaker to talk about what event? Thanksgiving or the founding of the country. So the nature of the nature of it all comes down to those four variables. And when you have people who care, they'll help you figure out how to blend those four parts. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
So, what was the event that had you change your trajectory of your life into doing what you do now?
Uh, um, the trajectory of my life changed when I had in high school. I have ADD, if you haven't noticed, and so my attention span is that of a gnat. And I ranked 253 out of 270 people in my graduating class in high school. My future did not look very bright. And fortunately, at my Lutheran church, my pastor, the late Paul Oss, said it might be a good idea for me to see if I could get into college. And the only college that would take me was a 6 year old college called California Lutheran University. So I got into the college on probation. And what changed my life was on the first day of school, the head of the speech department said, I'm going to start a debate team. Anybody that comes out for the debate team will get a guaranteed unit of A. So I calculated that if I got 1 unit of A, I'd also get 3 units of A in the speech class. And that turned my life around because for some reason I won my first debate. And it became my career. And it has been at the heart of what ID transfer has been all about for decades. But the most important turning point happened 2 years ago. When I met Derek and started working with him, what I realized is that we no longer are in a society where we like to argue. Have you noticed there's either or divide today? And the either or divide is why I've given up telling anybody I was ever on the debate team. And I now basically have all of my clients and friends understand that dialogue is more important than debate.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Um, do you have 3 minutes for me to share? I'm looking at the Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, but do people can people see my hand movement?
Yeah, people can see you.
Okay, can I share with you the other thing that I've learned with our some of the people that are on this call, like Dr. Murray Mercer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. So now, Matt, how many of you love to argue? Okay, how many of you hate the idea of arguing? All right. Well, here's what I've learned. Take your two thumbs like this. You can see my hand? You see my fist? Now, if I say this, role play with me. I'm right, Derek, and you're wrong. How do you feel? We're going to start doing what? The two fists are going to start pounding because once I say I'm right, you're wrong, what's the natural tendency of all of you that are listening? No, Alan's wrong. He's a jerk. Okay. And I'm right. And we're not going to get anywhere. Correct.
Yep.
So, what I learned with my good friend Dr. Al Hagen, retired Lutheran minister, is to open up your hands with the same two thumbs. You put your hands together, feels like Sunday school. And what you realize is that I still have my thumb here and I still have your thumb there, and our thumbs can still talk. They're still free to do it. But why are these four fingers connected? How many of you know the shape of a pretzel? Can you see one in your mind? It's got three windows: the left window, the right window, or the other way around, the right window and the left window. And then there's this wide mouth. And what I've come to understand, and we call it Friday is for Friends, is that when you realize that you, me, and us are the three variables on a pretzel, and they're the three variables in any conversation. And when the us is more important than me or you alone, we now have the ability to enter into a dialogue where understanding is more important than proving people right or wrong. What do you think?
Genius. I wish everybody in the world could hear that right now.
Well, for those of you who have just heard it, how did we do?
Yeah. If you're watching, put in the comments how you feel about this. I think this is pretty amazing stuff. Um, Alan, we don't have a lot of time tonight, but is there anything else you want to talk about that we haven't touched on already?
Um, I think the one thing I would like to do is to share something that I learned from Derek, and it might be helpful for all of you. And that is that when I when I when I went through all the traumas of having ADD growing up and through school and work, um, what I came to understand is that I feared failure because I was so good at doing it. And one of the things that Derek taught me and has been coaching me on is for me to get over my self limiting beliefs. I had people in my life who believed in me, but I didn't believe in myself. And one of the things that he has done is to help me understand that at any given moment, like this moment right now, I have a choice. I can suffer and fall into my self limiting beliefs that I'm a failure, or I can choose to soar like an eagle. And what I've learned in the last 2 years of my life have been very satisfying is that when I ask myself, what I call Derek's question. You have a choice, Alan. Do you want to soar or suffer? What it does is brings me back to having calm thumbs, calm. And what I've learned is that when you can be calm, what happens is everyone around you will start to calm down as well. Never tell anybody to calm down. The real leader, the real servant leader, is like Derek. The best way to be in a conversation is for you to be calm and wait for other people to finish speaking. And when you can do that, you can know the joy and the beauty of what it's like to feel nourished and healed and thrive, thanks to Derek.
Thank you, Alan. I really appreciate that. Um, there's so much wisdom that you have that I can't wait for you to share with everybody. So we're gonna definitely have you come back. I know you're building your Friday is for Friends, and once that launches, we're definitely gonna have you come back so you can share that with the group and we can invite people into it and I'm excited for you. Uh, is there any last words you want to share with everybody?
Um, yeah, the nice thing about Friday is for Friends is a takeaway, and we've done it tonight, and you can do it forward. To be conversationally competent is the goal in life. And what that means is you talk with people, not at, down, or around them and the issues that are important. So, as we build out Fridays for Friends and you'd like to become one, it's a simple process of wanting to give your heart, mind, and soul to a relationship that really matters. And that's the beauty of Friday is for Friends, whatever day of the week it is.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Alan. So thank you so much for being here, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you for anybody that's watching, and whether you're here live with us or you're going to watch a replay, really appreciate it. If you like what Alan had to say and you resonate with him, you can send him a message, put it in the comments. I'll make sure he sees it, and so we'll be in touch. And if you want to be spotlighted here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, you want to share your gifts, or maybe you just want some extra support for some area you're struggling, just put interview in the comments here and we'll spotlight you and we'll let you shine and have your moment. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye.